Success does not happen by chance. You're not going to wake up in the morning and be where you want to be. You're not going to wake up in the morning with the body that you want to have. You're not going to wake up in the morning with the quality of marriage and relationship. It takes intentionality. It's not accidental. What's up, and welcome to the Unruly Podcast. I am your host, Rousawn Dozier. I appreciate you being with me. Do me a favor. Please like and subscribe to the podcast. It would just mean a lot to me. It will help us show up higher in the charts and all that good stuff. But just on a serious note, thank you. Thank you for taking some of your time. You could be spending this time anywhere, so I do not take lightly the fact that you're spending it with me. Like, it means a lot to me. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Let me ask you this question. Do you want to be in the top 5% in the world at what you do? Like, do you want to be in the top 5% in the world at what you do? Maybe you're a teacher. Do you want to be in the top 5%? Some of y'all are like, I just want to be on summer vacation. See, you ain't trying to be in that top 5%. But do you want to be top 5 mom, top 5 dad, top 5 entrepreneur, top 5 leader, top 5 electrician, whatever your profession is? Do you want to be in the top 5%? You're probably like, absolutely. Absolutely, Rousawn. Like, I would love to be in the top 5%, but I'll just be real with you. Like, I don't have the time. There we go. Be real with yourself. Like, you be real with yourself. You're probably like, I don't have the time to invest in becoming the best at that. Like, it's going to take discipline. It's going to take focus. It's going to take commitment. It's going to take all those things. And I say yes, with the exception of time. It may not take as long as you think it's going to take. What? It's not going to take long. No. I said it's going to take discipline. Yep. It's going to take focus. Yep. It's going to take commitment. Yep. But it may not take as long as you think. What are you talking about? How? Teach me how. All right, cool. Like, I'll be real. Like, I read a lot of personal development books, and I'll level with you here. I'm not huge on 5 ways to create the best life for yourself, 7 ways to do this rule and that rule. I don't like that. Like, just talk to me real. Be gritty. Come off the cuffs. Tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. Don't make it so simple for me. However, I've read this particular concept about mastery. Life is about being on the journey toward mastery. Doesn't mean that you'll definitely master something, but it means being on the journey towards mastery. And the book was talking about this concept and the amount of time one needs to invest in their craft, in their skill set. Mine is public speaking. I'm a keynote speaker. I travel. I work with different organizations, large and small. I do conferences and events. I do workshops. And my expertise happens to be mindset and overcoming adversity. But one thing that I teach is communication, and I do that in a variety of ways, one being the Art of Communication workshop. So my goal is to become one of the greatest speakers in the world. I want to be in that top 5% / top 1% of speakers in the entire world. And so that's why I'm reading this book. Like, I'm on the journey to mastery, and I know that it might take 20 years, and I'm cool with that. But I still want to learn faster. If I can do something to cut my learning curve in half, I will. And so I'm reading this book, and I'm seeing, man, how much time am I going to have to invest? And my mind was blown. I'm like, yo, I'm going to have to put 20 years and 30 years in. And that's true, but it's actually a bit more simple than that. If you want to be in the top 5% at what you do in the entire world, I'm looking at my goddamn media right now. Bro, if you want to be in the top, I'm looking right at you, man. I don't care about looking at my people. They're watching. If you want to be in the top in the world, 5%, top 5%, this is how long that you have to invest in. It's a quick rule. It's called the rule of 100. The rule of 100. This rule suggests that if you invest, I know you've probably heard of Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour rule, but this rule is different. This rule says if you invest 100 hours into your craft in a given year, 100 hours a year, you will find yourself better than 95% of people in the world to do what you do. Let's go 100 hours. You're like, yeah, I ain't got 100. Like 100 hours? Doing just what I do. Like 100 hours of me showing up and working on being a better father. 100 hours of me showing up trying to be a better husband. 100 hours of me being a better speaker. 100 in a year. Yep. We'll need 100 from you in a year. Like, and I hope you know 100 in a year, it sounds like a lot, but I love that they drill down just a little bit more. A little bit more. But before we get into exactly what they talked about, I want to ask you, are you stored in your time? Are you stored in your time? Well, a person has 3 different currencies. Each of us, we have money, we have time, and we have energy. And we tend to trade our time and energy for this one. I was going to put these down, but if I put these down, y'all know what kind of... Hear me on this. How are you stored in your time? That's your most precious asset, most precious commodity. And so that when I said 100 hours a year, you kind of freaked out. You freaked out a little bit because you're like, I don't have that much time. There's no way I can do it. Oh, but the rule of 100 suggests that you can easily get to the 100 hours a year by breaking it down to just 18 minutes per day. 18 minutes per day, every single day for 1 year will give you 100 hours, which will put you in the top 5% in the world in your particular industry, area of concentration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do you have 18 minutes? That's all I need to know. Do you have 18 minutes? And right now, all you got to do is go grab your phone and look at your usage. And it'll tell you what you're spending your time on. Because you give Facebook, you give Instagram, you give TikTok, you give Snapchat, you give YouTube, on and on and on. You give all of them hours and hours and hours per day. But can you give yourself 18 minutes? Can you give yourself 18 minutes to begin becoming a better version of yourself? Can you give yourself 18 minutes to begin creating this level of mastery where you become one of the top in the world at what you do? Can you give yourself 18 minutes? You're giving it to everybody and everything else. Can you give yourself 18 minutes? And that's how you're going to get to your 100 a week. So this is what I'm doing. I got a couple of things for you, principle. Like I want this channel, I want this podcast, this audio experience to be not just something that inspires you and maybe motivates you some. I need it to be applicable. I need you to be able to take nuggets from here, apply it to your life, and get better. I almost want it to be like a coaching session. Like I don't take on one-on-one clients anymore, but I do. This is your one-on-one with me. And so how, Rousawn, can I get to that 18 minutes a day? Man, I have so much going on, so much that I'm going through. I'm going to give you 3 things. I call it this, not that. Like, when my oldest daughter was learning how to talk, she would think that she would look at the ball and cup. No, it's this, not that. It's this, not that, right? That's cereal. That's not a remote control. It's this, not that. So I'm giving you this, not that right now, right? I'm going to give you 3, this, not that. If you can focus on this, not that, you'll get your 18 minutes back plus more. Listen, intentionality, not accidentally. Intentionality, not accidentally. It's this, not that. If you're going to get your 18 minutes a day, your 100 hours a year, you need to focus on being intentional. Success does not happen by chance. You're not going to wake up in the morning and be where you want to be. You're not going to wake up in the morning with the body that you want to have. You're not going to wake up in the morning with the quality of marriage and relationship. It takes intentionality. It's not accidental. Right? And so what I want you to focus on and being intentional with your time. On your calendar, carve out 18 minutes right now. I don't care if it's 9 in the morning and 9 in the evening, or 9 in the morning and 9 at lunch. I don't care how you get to 18, 16 and 2, 15 and 3, 12 and 6. It doesn't matter. I want you to carve out time and be intentional. This, not that. Second thing. I will write it down for you. I don't want to forget it. Second thing. Oh, boy. Hard, not easy. Hard, not easy. I need you to choose difficult. There's this concept, and I'll get into it on a future podcast, called the paradox of painful decision-making. The paradox of painful decision-making. What? That means, like, this idea suggests that easy short-term choices leads to long-term difficulty. But short-term difficulty leads to long-term ease. I'm telling you, take the road of most resistance, not least resistance, because that's where you get stronger. So you have to be willing to go through to get to. If you truly want to master something, you got to choose hard, not easy, right? Those are the two, this, not that. And the last one, I'm going to give it to you real quick. Let me give it to you. All the time, not just sometimes. All the time, not just sometimes. It's been said, how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you cut corners over here, you're going to cut corners over there. If you cut corners in your marriage, you're going to cut corners in your finances, and so on and so forth. It's called touching the line. You got to touch the line with all that you do. I'll give you this little bar. Successful people do consistently what most people just do occasionally. Successful people do consistently what most people just do occasionally. So if you want to be in the top 5% of what you do, you're going to be great all the time, not just sometimes. That's what separates most people. They're willing to do great things sometimes, but not all the time. And it's doing it all the time which is going to separate you. It's this, not that. So the 3 things I need you to focus on, check it out, is intentionality, right? That's the first thing, not accidental, but intentional. The second thing, hard, not easy. Take the path of the most resistance, not the least resistance. And the third, this, not that, is all the time, not sometimes. So you can focus on those 3 things. I know your life will go to the next level. 18 minutes a day is 100 hours a year. That's going to put you in the top 5%. So take that message. I hope it connects with you. Please like and subscribe to the podcast. That's all I have for you today. Until next time, stay unruly and go be great.